But hey, I also watched this week a movie that you recommended to me, Jamie. I watched Born to Be Blue.
Yeah.
That was quite good, I thought. It's a little
Ethan Hawke
cliche.
good in that?
Huh? But he's fantastic. He's the reason to watch it. I mean, Carmen Ejogo is good too, but he's obviously the reason to watch it. You know, playing Chet Baker, and they did a good job with the music. He did a good job with his singing. I thought he did a good job with emulating Baker's tone, and he just and the movie itself, it skirted some biopic cliches, but it and some of them, it included with zeal, but the number that it kind of sidestepped a little bit was a little bit higher, I think, than the ones that it embraced. So
yeah, and it's not. It's some of those are unavoidable because, cliches actually happen in life. That's how they became cliches. So if you're going to tell an artist's story, some of them have to be unavoidable, I think. But at the same time, what surprised me about it was that it wasn't so much of a downer.
Mm-hmm.
There is, even though he was a very kind of melancholy person, there's great jubilance in sections of it, I thought. Just a jubilance and artistry
and an embrace. I mean, yes, we're talking about somebody who had a heroin addiction, and I don't want to. But I want to say the character embraces his heroin addiction. He doesn't. It's not a movie about him trying to kick the habit. It's a movie about trying to understand exactly why someone would go that route, and why so many, I think, jazz musicians have gone that route. It's explained quite well in the movie about him talking about how the drug kind of elongates time for him and allows him to kind of enter the notes. That's just something I've never seen in a movie before, in a movie like this before. I think it understands him, and I think it understands the music too, which is great for a musical biopic. And his life after the movie ends was no less kind of harrowing. When he got beat up and he lost. Yeah, definitely. I mean, he was more widely embraced, in his later years.
Yes.
He's one of the rare 50s era musicians that really found their footing in some ways much, much later, and didn't die in the middle of their, peak. But it's a really, really good movie. And, Ethan Hawke is just killing it these days. He's just
very much
almost every movie he's in. He's like fantastic. Yeah,
because I was gonna interject a joke here. Is Ethan Hawke, stealing Nicolas Cage's career model by propping up an excellent performance like every 4 years with stuff like Sinister 2 and 100 movies like that, because he makes a lot of B movies. But he's a great actor, and I don't get it sometimes. But I guess you have to get work. But
I mean, then he's in things like but he takes chances a lot. Like he's in Maudie, for instance, that's out right now, where he plays opposite Sally Hawkins, and he's the supporting role to her lead, and that's just an adventurous choice, to do this British movie. I don't see any other American actors, taking these choices.
Right.
But
very much. He does take risks, and I think maybe as a younger person, I think he's always been ambitious and had a very artistic sense to him. But for some reason, as a younger person, it came off as a bit too pretentious and pompous. And I think he's I think he needed to reach this age to make that feel seamless. Like, it feels like he's reached a level of maturity that allows him to bury himself in this material, and it's more, it feels honest.
He's gotten a lot more character in his face too. He's still handsome, but he's not. He's got lines in his face that I don't know, speak volumes about experience, I guess, and it makes him a little bit more believable in rougher roles. I mean, like he played a tremendous jerk in the movie called The Phenom, about a young baseball player that's sort of driven crazy by his demanding dad, and he's just fantastic at it. I mean, just as mean as I've ever seen a character be, and I just feel like he's reaching for things, and I think something about his collaborations with Richard Linklater and Julie Delpy has really like unleashed something in him, and I think we're going to probably see a lot more good stuff from him. I hope so, at least.